Okay, I'm really mad because I tried to set up this whole camera situation so you guys could see the Koze, but we're gonna have to sit comfortably, and that means you're not gonna see it, so at least you saw it in the beginning. Hey guys, God I love that sound. What's up and welcome back to another Koze Daily Brew. Today we're going to be talking about the 5-second rule. This is something that I recently I cannot talk today, okay? I've been recording and filming a lot of stuff, so I keep on like rolling my words together. So I'm going to put this down so I can focus a little better, and then I'm going to try that again. Today we're going to be talking about the 5-second rule. It's something that I recently learned from a Audible book that I downloaded for my drive to and from Ottawa this weekend. And so I like to listen to audiobooks when I'm driving. It just makes it a lot easier for me to, I guess, chill and not notice how slowly the time's going by sometimes. So I decided to download this one. I don't know what drew me to it. I just randomly picked it off of Audible because I was just going through the recommendations. And this book has quite literally already changed my life in the span of a week. The whole idea behind the 5-second rule is that you count down from 5 no matter what situation you're in, anytime you have any kind of like intuitive response to something, and then you just make a physical action. The only thing I can relate it to in my life that I've used before is something my old friend and old roommate Maggie taught me. Something that she used to do that I found really interesting when we lived together is she would say that she would count down from 3, and then like anytime she was laying on the couch watching Netflix or like doing something and she knew she needed to like get up and make a move, you just like fall into that slump where like, I know I need to get up and do something. I know I need to move. Sometimes it's even just like, I know I need to just like get up and go to the bathroom, but like you're just laying there and you're so comfy and you're just like in a pocket and you can't get out. She would say 3, 2, 1 and then go. So that was like the first time I feel like I had ever been introduced to that, and it's something that I still use every now and then. But the whole 5-second rule was kind of like the re-ingrainment of it into my like life and into my just day-to-day regimen, and it's life-changing. It truly is. So she goes into the science in it, Mel Robbins does, that is the author of the 5-second rule, but I am not going to remember that. And so if I use any of those scientific terms from the book, just know that I'm going based solely off of memory. So anyways, here's what it is. Whenever we know we need to do something, and I'm not talking like you need to do something because you have to do it. I'm talking you need to do something because you just intuitively know. Sometimes there's ideas that pop into our head. Sometimes it's even just you're catching yourself in a negative thought spiral and you just want to stop it or get out of it, or it's not helpful or constructive. Sometimes it's even just you need to get up and hit the gym and you just don't want to, or you need to get up and clean your room or clean your house or do something you've been procrastinating for a while. A lot of the times it can even get so bad that we procrastinate those things and we push those things off for so long that we find ourselves in slumps, or we find ourselves in phases of our life where we're just like, it's almost like we're constantly procrastinating everything, even down to like showering. That's normal. We all tend to go through these like weird pockets of life where, whether you're on the big exaggerated scale of that where things are just feeling really hard to just get up and do, or even just the smaller scale of that where you just tend to procrastinate even these 5-minute tasks that are just going to make your life overall easier and better and more enjoyable if you were to just be able to get up and do them. And also too, it can be really hard, I think, to take a chance on ourselves and to believe those little intuitive thoughts that pop into our brain. Like when you get the notion that you should do something, or the notion that you're doing the wrong thing and you need to shift course and go another way, or a lot of the times following those intuitive notions and those intuitive thoughts can be hard if we know that in doing so we might be letting other people down. So a lot of the times we end up waiting, we procrastinate living our lives, we wait for the right time or the right moment, and it never really comes, it never really happens, and then all of a sudden time starts to pass you by. Well, there's a whole ingredient that she basically uses to counteract that, but you can use it in so many different ways. And it's basically counting down from 5 and then making a move. The reason why it works is because it basically highlights, or it turns on your prefrontal cortex in your brain. So it cuts off exactly whatever stream of thoughts you're having because you're having to count down backwards. So that gives your brain a breather from whatever wormhole you were just diving down. And a lot of the times those wormholes are super negative. They're super like, I don't want to do this. This is going to suck. It's very defeated, you know? And so the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 gives your brain that 5-second, like, little minute where all of a sudden it's trying to think and count backwards, so it kind of stops you right in your thought process. And then when you follow up the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with an action, with a movement, with something that you're replacing it with, it instantly anchors or takes your brain and hooks it on something new, and that makes it a lot easier because it did just lighten up your prefrontal cortex. It makes it a lot easier for you to then take a whole new direction or take a whole new course of action without really actually needing to do much than just count backwards. It sounds really simple, and I get that. I highly recommend you guys read the book, but here are the ways that I've been using it and implementing it into my life, and that I found it has just been like, it hasn't not worked one time, like at all. First things first, I've been using it to get things done. I like to consider myself to be a pretty productive person. There's usually quite a few things on my to-do list, and I like my life that way most of the time, or else I guess I wouldn't be living my life that way. But there are definitely days, and sometimes those days string together in a row, where I'm finding it a lot harder to do things. And I was having, I guess, like a week of that, not last week, but the week before that. And so I was finding it a lot harder to just like show up for the things that I really wanted to show up for, but for some reason couldn't. Now I could tell you right now, looking back, what those reasons were, and a lot of it was just, you know, self-doubt or feeling like the mountain was just so big. Like I was just staring up this mountain of all of the things I felt I needed to do, and I was looking at the totality of it and the entirety of it, and I was just like, oh my god, like that is a massive mountain to climb. I don't even want to start. So I kept on almost kind of pushing off things that I needed to do, and then those things started to pile up, which then ended up making me feel worse about it. So I started there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just anything or whatever was next on my to-do list for the day or on my calendar for the day, without overthinking whether it would go well, whether it would fail, whether I would enjoy myself doing this thing or wouldn't. I just counted backwards from 5 and started doing it. And I ended up getting things, well, first of all, done a lot faster, but also too, even if it was something I wasn't really enjoying doing, even if it was one of those tasks where you have to do it even though you don't want to do it or you don't necessarily enjoy doing it, it was a lot more overall, I guess, enjoyable on a day-to-day basis. So right there, I was already more productive than usual and getting things done again, and it was starting to take little baby steps on the mountain rather than sitting back and being like, F this mountain. The second way that I started using this whole 5-second rule is with my thoughts. I love just, you know, sharing positivity and talking about positivity, and not even just positivity. I talk a lot about, I guess we talk about a wide spectrum on here, okay? We talk about the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, and all the in-between. And I guess that a lot of the times I want there to be a takeaway that makes whoever's watching feel happier leaving a video or feel more connected, not to necessarily me or my content, but to themselves. And so I think that with doing that, there can sometimes be a pressure that I put on myself to always arrive very happy and very just like hands are flowing and like my voice is up and it's upbeat and I'm super energetic, and that's normally how I am on a day-to-day basis. But when I'm by myself, I'm going to be so basic right now, but I am a moon in Libra. So that means that when I'm by myself, I'm very, I guess, what's a good word to put it? Introspective. I tend to be very aware of my thoughts and I capture them quite a bit, and sometimes I catch myself going down really just unhelpful and doubtful and I guess fearful thoughts, and that's, I guess, kind of to be expected. I do suffer from generalized anxiety, but I think that also too, I just sometimes, I don't know if we just as human beings like to make it a little bit more difficult on ourselves, or if it's like the blue dot theory where it's just if there aren't things to worry about, you almost kind of look or create things to worry about. Who knows, okay? I'm going offside, but bringing it back in. Using the 5-second rule, I have been catching myself whenever I'm having a really pessimistic thought, whenever I notice I'm doubting myself, whenever I notice that I'm thinking really poorly about myself, or like, you know, when you're having an off day, like your hair is just not doing what you want it to, your makeup's not going on the way you want it to, you feel bloated and gross, and you're just like off your A game, and this isn't going right, and that's not going right, and you're just like kind of spewing in it or sitting in it. I've been catching myself in those thoughts, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I try and think of something I'm grateful for right away. And the trick is that the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stops me wherever I am, whatever word I'm on, thought process, no matter what, it just completely just cuts it off. And then putting it with something I'm grateful for, you could also do something you're excited for, you could also do something that you love, something that just makes you generally happy, but I feel like just something I'm grateful for is usually something right around me that I could just pinpoint, and I'm like, Bentley, or my journals, or my car, or the sun. Like, it's that simple. It's just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find something you're grateful for, and it instantly makes you feel just a little bit more light and a little bit less heavy and a little bit more just, I don't know, like you have a little bit, I guess, more control over your mind and your thoughts and your life than you really truly think you do. It's just, we kind of tend to get in our own way. And so this whole 5-second rule, those are like the 2 main ways that I've been implementing it, but I highly suggest go and check out the book, check out I'll leave links to it down below. This is not sponsored in any way. This book really just captivated me, okay? I'm on it. I'm loving Mel Robbins. She's got me. I'm in the club, whatever club she's got going. I don't know if she even has a club, but I want to be in it. And I highly suggest you guys come join. I'll leave all the links to that book down below. But yeah, that's the 5-second rule. It's super helpful for being productive. It's super helpful for just being more positive. And there's a lot of people that have basically written into her about how it's helped their lives. And I officially feel like I can join the team. It's definitely been really helpful. So let me know if you guys end up deciding to give it a try, and if it works for you. And if you have read the book before, let me know what your thoughts were on it and how you've been implementing it, because I know this book has been out for a little bit already. And aside from that, I will talk to all of you guys in the next Koze Daily Brew. Bye guys.